Welcome to the Gamer Show live. Woo! NFL NFC is the best. Past 2 years, NFC teams cut the Packers. We talk about the man, the prodigal champ. What's a prodigal champ?
How's it going? We're here to talk about some good old foosball. And I just got to sit there and say, Bearstown, my Texas Longhorns will be playing in the Big 12 championship.
Congratulations, Big 12, man. Congratulations. The Longhorns are good. I like the Longhorns, too. It's like probably my third favorite college football team, Pop. Steve Young. So a bunch of Texas Longhorns, a good team. The Big 12. The way Nebraska gets the last against the Iowa team. The way the bumps.
Yeah, well, we've waited a long time. We've been off the national stage for so long. So
Not as
it's
bad,
nice to be back there again.
not as bad as Nebraska.
Yeah. Well, Nebraska fell off back in the, well, okay. You want me to tell you the history about the Big 12 real quick, Bearstown?
Go ahead.
Okay. So you had something called the Southwest Conference, and you had the powerhouses, which were at the time Texas and Texas A&M of the Southwest Conference. Then you had your Baylor's, your Texas Tech's, your Rice, and whatnot. And so the Big Eight at the time decided, hey, we can go ahead and incorporate some of these Southwest Conference teams and make a super conference. So they went ahead and merged, and Baylor really should have never been in the Big 12, to be honest with you. It should have always been TCU. Thank you, Ann Richards, for that one. But that's what happens whenever politicians get involved in your sports. However, uh, whenever that happened, Oklahoma and Texas took over the Big 12. And then now Nebraska got kicked out of their own conference. A&M took off and they left. Missouri left. So it would be interesting to see Texas and Texas A&M again. But yeah, that's we are back. We are back. It took a long time back in the 90s, late 90s. We were down. We got back into the Big 12 championship. Picture back in the late 90s. Ended up beating Nebraska for the Big 12 championship, and then from there it just kind of steamrolled into the national championship run. And now we're rebuilding again. We're back where we had Ricky Williams and Priest Holmes, and that kind of Texas Longhorn football where we're having to build our way back up and working. So I have confidence, man. I have confidence.
That's cool. The Big 12, the Texans are back, and the Longhorns are back. I like the Longhorns. Vince Young, being good. It's a simple teams. It's like the 14 we're talking about now. The Longhorns are the powerhouse, right? You mean? People talk about Michigan's back, Ohio State's back, but Alabama's back. Now Texas are back, and Oklahoma's back, and like I said, they're back. They're not overrated like Nebraska. Okay, the Big 12 is back. The Texas is back. You know what I mean? It's like the NFL. A bunch of big time programs. Irish is good. People talk about Irish. People talk about Michigan.
I mean,
Alabama.
when you're talking about college football, it's usually Alabama for the SEC. As far as Alabama, Texas, USC, uh, usually Michigan, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Texas, and then you have Miami and Florida State. Those are predominantly the ones with the biggest followings. And then you have, you're kind of new to the scenes, or your cows are go fall under this group that are like the second tier in prestige. Then you have, of course, Michigan State, which is your team. Those fall into that kind of like new the
Irish.
yeah, the newer ones. The Irish is probably a predominantly older prestige team. I think Texas and Notre Dame happen to be the two highest grossing college football sports programs there are. Of course, the Irish being having a strong Catholic following, and then of course Texas having a more of a liberal, which is weird because they'll sit there and say that Texas is just nothing but a red Republican. But if you ever go down to Austin, you'll see that that's quite the opposite. Texas Longhorns have more of a liberal following than actually a conservative following. The conservatives follow A&M for the most part. Nothing against that, but yeah, I'm not an A&M fan. I'm a Longhorn fan, which is kind of weird because they'll label me an alt-right extreme conservative. But I'm a Longhorn fan, which is more of a liberal following than actually a conservative following.
That's cool.
Miami is more of that. Whenever you look at Miami, they're more of that hip hop following. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. They do.
Yeah, hip hop. The Michael Irvins back in the days and whatnot, and kind of got that rap following. Then yeah, and then you have Florida down there too. That would be more of the conservative part of Florida that supports the Florida Gators. And it's weird the way that people think. It's like, oh well, no, because this label here, then it's one way, but no. But like Florida has their big following. Emmitt Smith, one of our best running backs of all times. Florida boy.
It's good. It's cool, man. It's with the Emmitt Smiths. Now, are you watching the NFL for a couple of weeks, man? I've been watching the NFL for a long time. We talk about this NFC, been tweeting, talking about the team all week, praising the Saints, praising the Cowboys. Yeah, my Bears in first place. And how about the Cowboys, man? The Cowboys will beat the Washington Redskins. The Saints won.
I'm telling you, this is probably the most competitive I've seen the NFC East, and this is probably the most competitive division in the NFL today. Of course, your Bears are running away with the NFC North, it looks like. So, yeah, congratulations to that. But like the NFC East is like from top to bottom. We're right now we're in the lead in the NFC East with the win that we just got over Thanksgiving Day. Over the Washington Redskins, 31-13, right?
31 to 21.
Yeah, 21. Yeah, 21. But yeah, like I said, it was we ended up taking the division, and from top to bottom, nobody knows who's going to win this division. I mean, right now we got the lead, but we need to go ahead and keep the pedal to the metal, because if not, then we can go ahead and slip back. And like we were just discussing, whenever we were talking about all the sports media hate, the Dallas Cowboys make media. You look at Stephen A. Smith, and he's made a career off of hating the Cowboys. You look at Skip Bayless, he's made a career off of loving the Cowboys.
Wow.
So, that's just the truth. And this is like the Cowboys are the most polarizing team in the NFL right now. And I think that like that's one of the reasons why we're probably hated, because I told you this too. If Dallas or Chicago was on the West Coast or the East Coast, we would get a lot more love. But since we're in that Midwest belt right there, we don't get a lot of love from sports media, to be honest with you.
And Saints.
Saints. Yep, the Saints too. They get hated on. I didn't even understand that, because you're looking at Drew Brees could be one of the best quarterbacks of all time, statistically speaking, and he has his Super Bowl ring, and he's never really had a great team as far as like receivers and line and defense. I mean, at least Tom Brady, he's never had any good receivers like that, or any great receivers. But he's had a good defense, and he's had a good offensive line. Brees has had a decent offensive line, but he hasn't had a great offensive line, and his defenses are always kind of trash. So for what he's done in the NFL, it's surprising that he doesn't. They just disregard him as a footnote.
What do you think, Malik? The Cowboys winning
NFL history. Looks like Malik's in the house. Another Cowboys. How about the Cowboys, Malik? First place.
What's up, Bearstown, and what's up, Poston? It's been a long time.
Yeah.
No time to talk about the Cowboys, some of the NFL talk. Just like all time.
So, first of all, congrats to your Bears. Trubisky is a godsend. It's too bad now that his right shoulder, he's hurt.
Yeah.
But your backup didn't do too bad. Number 4 didn't do too bad. Owen Poston, Cowboys have been worried a part of the game near the end, because, like I said, Dak and Zeke need to stop jumping inside the Salvation Army can, because they get penalized for taunting for doing that. So, see, after you get penalized, you give the Redskins an extra 10 yards on the kickoff, and look what happened. See, We should have beat them 31-13. So, but
Yeah.
you know,
But I can't complain too much because it's for a good cause. You know what I'm saying? If it was a Red Cross, I'd say yeah, stop being a freaking cuck. But since it's a Salvation Army, it's for a good cause. So it's not like John Cena over there trying to find some sort of cancer patient to take advantage of so much. It's kind of a neat little taunt, you know what
I
I'm
understand
saying?
it's a good cause, but
So, I'm willing to go. Are you there?
yeah, I'm here. Yeah, no, your audio is breaking up a little bit. No, I'm here though. No, I understand good cause, but just put money in the can. Don't jump in it. You stop doing that. See, they've done it twice now and been penalized for taunting for doing that. So, you know, I'm just saying, you know, I said I love the Cowboys, but you know, even the wins we're getting, this is our third in a row. It's still like we're struggling because our defense, especially our pass secondary, as you can see, Colt McCoy looked good for some reason. And Colt McCoy used to be a Cleveland Brown, but he looked good yesterday. I think we sacked him like twice because he was scrambling like a young Aaron Rodgers, and he even ran for a first down. So, in our pass, you know, I mean, yeah, we got 3 picks, but you know, we need to do better. We need to do better on defense, and offense needs to step up a little more because Dak was sacked 4 times in the first half. Now next we have the Saints. I don't know if we can beat them. That's that'll be a struggle if we do.
The good thing about the Saints is the Saints don't have any defense. You know, it's always it ends up being but hopefully our defense can show up and stop Drew Brees, but that's kind of a hard test. But Colt McCoy's always been a pretty good quarterback. He's an underrated quarterback, and that's how Colt McCoy plays, is like Aaron Rodgers a lot. So
I guess him being with the Redskins makes him a better quarterback because he did a lot better yesterday than I ever did see him do with the Browns. But see, my dad's a Browns fan, so that's how I know who he is. I saw him play before.
Oh, cool! That's a Cleveland Browns fan.
See, the Cleveland Browns drafted him years ago when he first got into the league. They drafted him, but he didn't do much for him, so he was cut, traded, so he's been around. So I guess he's learned a lot, you know.
Actually, that year that he was with the Browns, they went on a winning streak with Colt McCoy as their starter. I think they lost that first game that he started, which was against the Patriots, which is no big deal. But the second week he came in against Rex Ryan's defense and torched the New York Jets and then went on that winning streak. I know about Colt McCoy because he played for my team, the Texas Longhorns. So Colt McCoy has always been a more accurate quarterback. He's more like an Alex Smith. He's a good play caller, doesn't take chances, protects the football. That's what you get out of Colt McCoy. And we were just talking about Colt McCoy, actually, me and Bearstown were, because he's always been a real underrated quarterback. But, the only problem is that he is smaller, and then he gets injured, whenever he makes those kind of plays.
Let's go. Let's talk about Colt McCoy for a while. The Big 12 quarterbacks have pretty talented quarterbacks the years. Chase Daniels, another Big 12 quarterback as well. He played for Missouri back then, too. Chase Daniels, too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, as far as the Saints go, look at the points that the Saints score all the time. They run up last 48-7, and then like last night with the Falcons, 31-17. I mean, damn. See, how do we stop Drew Brees? That's the question.
Here in Texas. Oh, go ahead. I didn't know your audio's kind of breaking up.
Oh, sorry. Okay, no, I have a good mic. It's a podcast mic I bought. It's a G-Track Pro from Samsung. Anyway,
cool. Packers, man.
Anyway, how do you stop Drew Brees? How does the Dallas defense stop Drew Brees? That's the question.
Well, as simple as that. Dallas Cowboys.
I was gonna say, this is the deal. Whenever you're talking about like this is what I said the other day on Twitter. Look at Drew Brees' product, and down here in that area in Texas, they like manufacture quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? It's like a quarterback manufacturing. When you look at Robert Griffin, when you look at Andrew Luck, when you look at guys like Colt McCoy and stuff like that here in Texas, with those the way that they do their 2-and-days for the quarterbacks and stuff like that, get the ball out quick, find the open receiver. That's what they develop here in Texas. And Drew Brees is a part of that. He could possibly be the face of that product. For years, he's always been underrated. And, whenever you're talking about next week against Dallas, Unfortunately, we have a young defense, but we have a young offense as well. We have a young team, and a veteran like Drew Brees. This is going to be a metric for how good they're going to be. If they can hold Drew Brees like you know to like 2 touchdowns, and then like less than 200 yards, the Cowboys have a good chance at winning because that run defense is pretty decent in Dallas. But this is going to be how good we're going to see if the Cowboys are a playoff team, just here today, gone tomorrow.
Well, that's cool. Let's talk about the Drew Brees. The Saints, the one thing the Cowboys can have, they need a pass rush. You know what I mean? A pass rush could get the quarterbacks in. The benefit, for years you gotta have a pass rush for years and years. If you have a good pass rush, it can impact the Cowboys and the Niners. The Cowboys and the Niners. The best thing the Cowboys got was get Charles Haley. Remember Charles Haley? Hall of Famer. Pass rush.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, because he was with the 49ers, and then he I think he retired as a Cowboy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we brought in Russell Maryland, and we brought in yeah, we had like so many good pass rushers back in those days.
Good. Newton left to 49ers. Anyways, what the Cowboys had was a pass rush attempt. Now to beat the Saints and the Rams and Chiefs don't have no good defense. I was like impressed, like 51, 53. That's not that impressive to me. The fact is, the Saints has a passing offense. There's teams like a Cowboys could catch up to them. The thing is, you have a good cornerbacks as well, and pass rush the passer. If you have Drew Brees' time, he's gonna beat you.
Yeah, as we've seen the past 2 weeks, because Drew Brees just basically clipped the wings of the Eagles. Eagles didn't have no chance. I mean, it was gonna.
Yeah.
If there was a little more time left, Michael Irvin had a prediction. He used a term I never heard before that my dad heard called a 50 burger, meaning when you run up 50 points, it's a 50 burger.
Yep, 50 burger. Drew Brees is underrated. The fact that San Diego Chargers got rid of Drew Brees, that tells you. Now, Drew Brees has a good offensive mind named Sean Payton. Well, he's with the Cowboys offensive coordinator as well.
And I'll tell you, he had a good running back too, and the local boy, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Mm-hmm.
And when they got rid of Brees, it was kind of like whenever the San Diego Chargers, and there's nothing wrong with Phillip Rivers. I totally understand why they would be impressed with Phillip Rivers. But whenever you have a quarterback like Brees, and he's doing, he's getting you into the playoffs, he's, I didn't understand why they would get rid of Brees and draft Rivers whenever Brees was already steadily, really good in that offense. And I think that the Saints could have probably made a Super Bowl if they would have kept Brees and then let, Phillip Rivers go to another team. It was just, Chargers. He's always been underrated, man.
The Chargers. The Chargers, not the Saints.
The Chargers.
The San Diego Chargers just shit themselves. That's why. Now, the dumbasses like teams like the Bears who could have signed Drew Brees. Imagine Brees, Urlacher, and Thomas Jones in Super Bowl one. Another idiot the Bears don't do in which. Now people say, well, why did the Bears trade out to get Mitch? Well, that's why, because the quarterbacks. Look at how Drew Brees does. Drew Brees, his shoulder surgery. Miami could have Drew Brees. Do you think Drew Brees is motivated? Hell yeah, he is. The fact that Drew Brees went to the whole offensive system with Sean Payton, he's already one of the best offensive mind. You know what I mean? The Saints got to fix the defense. The running game looks impressive. Saints.
I want to let you know this too, and since we're on the topic of Brees, Sean Payton really didn't want Drew Brees. He wanted Tony Romo.
Wow.
And since Tony Romo was was signed in free agency with the Dallas Cowboys, Sean Payton, who had played actually for Eastern Illinois like Romo, saw Romo, knew he could develop Romo into something similar to, what Romo was. He wanted Romo really, really, really bad. So whenever he left for New Orleans, he made these offers to Dallas to go ahead, and if everything would have went right, Romo would be where Drew Brees is right now. And then where would Drew Brees go? Would Dallas pick him up? Would Chicago pick him up? Nobody really knows. But the end of the story is Dallas wasn't going to part with Tony Romo, and so they ended up picking up. So they ended up picking Drew Brees, and then the rest is history because Drew Brees was a South Lake Carroll product, and he did play that kind of game that Sean Payton likes so much.
Also, the fact that the Bears get the one offensive. Don't forget, the Bears got the general manager, Ryan Pace. He was assistant under Sean Payton. Ryan Pace copycat the same system. And looking at the Saints, the offense, Chicago, they're kind of similar. The whole concept, think about it now. Ryan Pace came from New Orleans Saints, so they have the great offense, the Drew Brees coming up. Look what Chicago's doing. Look at the first 2 years of the drafts. My Bears get the Saints assistant general manager. The Saints general manager learned so much, and if people ask how do you know this? Like, look, Bears get Ryan Pace, he came from New Orleans and developed New Orleans Saints style offense. Look, you see now, it seems like kind of similar, like Chiefs and the Eagles and the Saints offense. It's definitely caught up in the whole system. You get the best defensive mind. New Orleans Saints is still a contenders team. I think the Saints are a legit team. I think that's why the Saints are hard to beat. But if you're defensively, they're gonna be more dangerous. Unless the Saints get the Cowboys, and as a Cowboy fans, you guys should trade a draft pick, a first 2 draft picks for J.J. Watt. Sorry, Steven Ross, but if the Cowboys get J.J. Watt, then the Cowboys will be dangerous. What do you think, guys?
That's a good, that's a good point. Yeah, I like J.J. Watt and his younger brother who plays for the Steelers. He ain't too bad himself. That dude's dangerous too. Yeah, back in the days, Paulson. Yeah, during the Jimmy Johnson's era, we had great defense. But of course, before that, when we had Tom Landry, we had the Doomsday defense. I miss them guys: Randy White, Ed Too Tall Jones, Harvey Martin, John Dutton. So we had
those 70s, those traditional 70 defenses.
Yeah, 70s to 80s. Yeah, but today our best pass rusher is DeMarcus Lawrence because actually he took one of the interceptions right out of the air when Colt McCoy threw it yesterday. It's too bad he didn't have any speed because we could have had a pick 6.
Yeah. I know that like when you're talking about Dallas, right? And this is my one thing on Dallas. And I'm hoping that they can get this figured out. But whenever you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, I like Dak Prescott. I think I don't know how well he fits in our system though. Because whenever you look at like Jason Garrett and the system that he runs, he's more to like a Tony Romo or an Aaron Rodgers. That seems to be the kind of quarterbacks that run his system a lot better. And to me, Dak Prescott is more like a Brett Favre or a Patrick Mahomes right now in Kansas City. That seems to be like the type of quarterback that Dak is. So I don't know if he really fits into our system. But I'm going to throw this out there, and I'll ask both of you this. Mm-hmm. The Oakland Raiders are talking about maybe possibly dealing a Derek Carr.
Yeah.
And so, Malik, I'll ask you first, since you're a Cowboys fan like me, and see if it's even really worth the risk. You already brought in Amari Cooper. Would you consider maybe doing an even trade for a Dak Prescott for a Derek Carr? Or are you going to roll and take your chances with Dak Prescott and, see if you can make it work?
Well, Dak Prescott, in my opinion, fits into our system very well. Now, offensive line needs to learn to protect him better because, like I said, they let him get sacked 4 times, and Dak can run because if you saw that 3rd and goal end zone run in the second half, which was brilliant, he was backtracking then dodged two defenders, and then found a lane and went into the end zone. And even Joe Buck said, "What a touchdown run!" So I know people hate on Dak Prescott just like a Romo a lot, like if he throws an interception or if he does something dumb, which I admit he does. Sometimes he makes bad decisions. All quarterbacks do because no quarterback's perfect, unless of course you're Tom Brady. But that's a whole different story altogether. Tom Brady's been around a while, but anyway, I think Dak. My opinion is I would keep Dak. Now I like Derek Carr, yes, but now he's had an injury too. So how he heals up when he's back, they haven't done too well with Derek Carr this year. But of course they traded a lot of players, and Bearstown knows this because Bearstown, your boys have Khalil Mack.
The back color.
Y'all got the back. So that's good. But if they were to trade, here's my thing. I would want to trade Dak for Derek. I would have Derek come to the team as a backup. But like I said, I'm team Dak all the way. That's just my opinion.
I mean, I like Dak, but like I said, Dak seems like a product of the Andy Reid system. Like he can throw that ball downfield like no other. But it's like Dallas seems to be better whenever you strategically. That's why Romo was so good in the system, and that's why Breeze would work in the system is because that they're moving the ball downfield, they're getting the ball out quicker. I think Dak holds onto the ball a little bit more and gets in a little too much trouble. But
sometimes, yeah, and also like this is his third season, so he's still got to develop and grow. Now, as far as now yesterday when he was about to get sacked and go down, he threw a first time pass, and that was strength. He did that on strength, and on two plays, like I said, he kept the ball and kept it and got a block and got a first down. So as far as the system, well, to me, you said Romo was good. See, we had Romo all those years. There's one Achilles heel about Romo. He never led us to a Super Bowl. That's the only thing about Romo. You can have all the good stats, but if you got a ring, don't mean shit to me because, like I said, Troy Aikman got three rings. But Troy Aikman came along at the right time under the right coach.
But Aikman had a running back, and Aikman also had an offensive line.
Right.
First, probably about the 4 or 5 years of his career, his offensive line was non-existent. Now he did have some good running backs come in, but he had no offensive line, and they didn't really invest a lot. It was all just Romo, and Romo didn't have the time to. That's why he threw so many interceptions at the beginning of his career, is because he was running for his life. You go back and look at game films, and fucking Jeff Free was non-existent.
Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah, I watched every Cowboy game when Romo played. Yeah, I mean some interceptions. Yeah, he threw right on the run, but a lot of them he threw even when he was in the pocket and had protection. So a lot of those interceptions were his fault. That's how I feel. Dak, Dak to me looks a little more poised, a little better than Romo. Like I said, he still has more time to develop. He's younger, so he's still got years to develop. And I'm pretty sure he's under a long-term contract right now. Because if he gets hurt, we're in the doghouse because our backup is a guy named Rush, and he looks like trash to me. So I wouldn't mind picking up Derek Carr. Hell, I wouldn't mind even having Alex Smith or some quarterback that's just maybe out of nowhere, maybe somebody that's been around or been a veteran.
What about you, Bearstown?
I think the Raiders. I think the Bears can have system fits in. Matt Nagy wants Trubisky, so Trubisky's gonna stay because Trubisky is the Steve Young type. The West Coast Andy Reid fits for Trubisky. Trubisky is a lot better. He reminds a lot of Steve Young. Meaning he could run, he could pass. Now Dak Prescott is like the West Coast offense. You gotta change the system. Dak Prescott is more like a deep up. No matter if the Raiders want to get rid of Derek Carr, at least gonna trade a team has a quarterback issues. Now, who would fit in for Derek Carr? What system could be? The Cowboys. I'm talking about Cowboys a little bit. I know you guys seen. Cowboys have at least a lot of weapons, right? Dak Prescott there, but then you could get rid of the Jason Garrett. You got more Andy Reid style of offense. So you get the best of Dak Prescott. Because Dak Prescott is more better in the West Coast offense, 100%. One more didn't have offense line. One more didn't have receivers either. And they have what? Just Whitley and Des Bryant and Taylor Lawrence a little bit. When Taylor left, it was coming too much in Des Bryant. And I remember the games that during service. I was against my Bears, 2-10, 2-12. You could tell the Bears' coverage is the cover 2 defensively. Know how Womack's going to throw. And the coverage will simplify. Now, if Womack didn't have a 2 receiver, a 3 receiver, a speed receiver, like a Gabriel, like Taylor Gabriel, speedsters like Eddie Wilson, or you got Ty Burton, which came from the Philadelphia Eagles. The thing is that Dallas Cowboys should do now is just get a pass rusher. I think the Raiders should trade the quarterback to the Broncos. Because at least the Broncos know the system, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
If I'm the Cowboys, and since Dak Prescott is a long ball thrower, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's a long ball thrower, so like you're saying, he needs a deep threat. Whenever they bought in Amari Cooper, I was like, okay, well, we've got a lot of the little scat back wide receivers. He's developed a good rapport with I can't think of his name right now.
You talking about Swain?
Not Swain, but that little wide receiver, number 11. What's his name?
Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley, little Cole Beasley.
Yeah, now see, if Beasley could catch a ball, and because he's not just a scat back, he's got speed. If he could catch a ball and break, I believe he would take it all the way to the house, but he can never break free because he got speed. Now, yesterday, we've seen obviously that Cooper is going to be his go-to guy because that dude broke 2 pass runs for touchdowns.
But see,
yeah, I'm here. Yeah, no,
I'd like to steer. Okay, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes,
yeah. Your audio breaks up a little bit though. Go ahead.
Yeah. Who I would get if I was Dallas is Lil Jordan Humphreys out of Texas because they need a bigger wide receiver that can go ahead, a possession wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that Dak can find in the end zone as a red zone threat. Yeah, I know that we need a tight end too as well. Of course, we need one of those tight ends that he could find, but we definitely need a bigger body wide receiver who can fight for possession. And whenever they bought in Amari Cooper, I was like, well, that was, to me, he's done a good job. Don't get me wrong. Amari Cooper had a hell of a game last night, but we need a possession wide receiver. So I'm hoping that we can get one in the second round. We got Collins Johnson coming out of Texas, and we got Lil Jordan Humphreys that are going to be those possession wide receivers that can fight for position. This year, we need to find, since we've gotten rid of our first round pick, we definitely need a big bodied wide receiver in Dallas.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
That just has to be the first.
Yeah, first priority. Because Amari Cooper, he's a good receiver and he needs speed, but he's not a big guy. You want like a tall guy like Randy Moss, kind of, because Randy Moss was tall and he was like a big fight for possession receiver when he played. Because like I said, he was a tall dude when he played in Minnesota and he played in New England. So if we can get a tall guy like that and also has speed, I think we'd be okay. Because then we have Amari Cooper, we got Swain, and to me, Cole Beasley should take up the slack, the void left by Jason Witten, because they last night I think Troy but Joe Buck called him old reliable. Yeah, he dropped the one in the end zone that he should have had. I think in the last game, but he made up for it later.
Yeah, and there's 2 wide receivers coming out of UT, and they're both 6'4", 6'6" type boys who can get down the field, who can fight for possession, and can go ahead and sustain your drives. And we definitely need to look at one of these guys. I know that they're not the most popular anymore, because people look at him and say, "Oh, well, he doesn't have that type of like Cole Beasley like speed." But what they can do for you in the red zone makes all the difference in the world, particularly whenever you're talking about Dak doesn't have that right now.
He doesn't. The variety things definitely. Less of this is simple. Now, they never see the Dallas Cowboys data something that Chicago has. Now the Bears and the Cowboys have things like that. We have problems the same way catching end zones. We were more drop passes last year, if you guys remember that stuff. Like this year, Chicago was garbage. Stringing out there, just can catch the balls like the end zones, like Trey Burton. Yeah, bad game yesterday. But you guys have say a receiver like Smith. I mean, Smith is pretty good player. Anthony Miller can catch a ball, and you can see how Eddie Robinson kind of. Which I think the Bears can have possession receiver, catch the ball, a running back also can contribute. The Cowboys need to have a running back like to your corner. Because speed doesn't gadgets, it can be dangerous in ways. I think Cowboys have been more better with catching a possession receivers. We had a lot league drafts this year, we league last year. And that's become a Chicago fan. I say Cowboys fans are frustrated because I was frustrated myself too. A lot of drop balls, drop catches. What do you think, guys? Malik?
Oh yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, on any team, for any team, if you want a deep threat or a wide receiver, you want somebody like Polson said, 6'4", 6'5", red zone receiver who can, like I said, get in the red zone even on a long bomb. Somebody who can fight for the ball, fight for possession, out jump the defender, where the defender has no chance. That's what we need. That's what any team would love to have. And I think those are basically like once in a lifetime, or once in a while. They don't come along very often. But like I said, Polston, who knows football, looks at guys like that coming out of college. So there's a select few like the two he mentioned, and there's probably others around the college, around the country and college. We just got to find one. I just hope that's a priority for Jerry Jones.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was going to say this right here because Bears mentioned that Mitch Trubisky reminds him of Steve Young. Coming into this year, and I'm going to say this because I know that whenever you look at a guy like Pat Mahomes, and whenever you look at a guy like Jared Goff and LA right now, the guy that I see that has the most potential to be like Brady is Mitch Trubisky.
Whoa,
yeah, well, the reason why I say this, right, is Mitch Trubisky comes out of that North Carolina product, so we know that he has the touch pass ability, which is relied on that particular kind of offense. And if Chicago has always been a defensive-oriented team, whenever you look at Brady, Belichick has always been a defensive mind. He was a defensive mind whenever he was in New York. We were just talking about this because I remember that he was a good defensive coordinator. And the Bears, they're a defensive. They've always relied on a good defense. So they've always had a pretty decent. They have a good running attack usually all the time. And so when you look at Trubisky, whenever you look at Brady at the beginning of his career, yeah, he struggled quite a bit to get to where Brady is today. Everybody thinks, oh, it's always Tom Brady. It was always Tom Brady. That first Super Bowl was definitely defense. And then Brady became Tom Brady. When you look at Mitchell Trubisky right now, his wide receivers, while they are looking pretty good, Mitchell Trubisky is helping them out quite a bit as well. So if he can still develop that game, get that confidence where he's at right now, get a little bit of leadership behind him, get a few years in the league, I can totally see him being where y'all may actually get a few Super Bowls out of him because of the way your system's run and whatnot. I don't know if he'll have the same kind of longevity and if he'll have the same kind of success as Brady did. Yeah. But I think in a few years, well, probably not in a too distant future, everybody's going to be sitting there saying, well, the Bears called this one right. Even though I was against, because you knew I didn't think that y'all should have went for Mitchell Trubisky. I thought y'all should have waited. And I still think that y'all should have waited because I think y'all could have gotten him where y'all were. So I really didn't agree with the trade necessarily because I thought you were going to get him anyways. But, yeah, I think that Mitchell Trubisky is going to be one of those guys to where it's like, well, the Bears, they got to steal in this draft.
That's for sure. But like I said, you got to admit, Polston, Trubisky has worked out well because unlike the Bears' last quarterback, I forget his name. I'm sure everybody else has too. Trubisky is basically a godsend because he looks good. Bears fan, he really does. He looks good.
There you guys.
It's unfortunate that he, like I said, he got injured. You know, that's you hate to see that. You know, but,
it does.
you know, because he's bad. He's a bad little dude. And like I said, the Chiefs, Mahomes, yeah. Well, let's put it this way, Paulson, Mahomes is much better than Dak Prescott. Let's put it that way.
Well, I'll say this. Mahomes reminds me so much of Brett Favre this year. It's not even funny. Because do you remember whenever Brett Favre made his first start with the same coach back in 1993?
Yeah, and he was 1992. Andy freaking Reid. Let's talk about this how great impact Andy Reid. Andy Reid was offensive coordinator of Mike Conklin, right? The Brett Favre sucked at the Falcons. The Falcons got rid of Brett Favre and got this change of culture. Andy Reid was Brett Favre's offensive coordinator. I put up a Twitter.
Yeah.
Brett Favre was the man. Yeah, because Mahomes. Yeah, he's like I say, he's young, he's fast, and that dude can run, throw. I mean, and the Chiefs are smoking it right now. Like the games I've seen, especially with the running game, the guy leaping over people. You know, I mean, you know, like I said, Mahomes is like I said, that's a quarterback I wish we had. I wish we had Mahomes. You know, in some way, you know, but like I said, I support Dak. I support the guy that we drafted that we have.
And see. I think that Dak Prescott, in a lot of ways, is like Patrick Mahomes. This is the deal, right? Is it's not necessarily on Dak. I think that if Andy Reid would have been able to get Dak, or if he would have had the foresight to get Dak, because Dak was in Mississippi State, he wasn't highly touted, he wasn't highly recruited. His own Texas Tech product, they were, he's seen a lot on with, certain teams and whatnot. They just pay a little bit more attention to Texas products. But I think that Dak is in a lot of ways set up to be like a Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes is a downfield thrower, like Brett Favre was. You know what I'm saying? And they both have touch, they both have accuracy, and that I think that they're a lot alike, and I just think that pretty much the system that like Patrick Mahomes just got into that system, and Andy was able to develop him. But I think Andy would have did the same thing with Dak Prescott. I think that Dak Prescott would have be just like Patrick Mahomes is doing if they went to that system here in Dallas.
It's true. Let me ask a question. I know you guys are a big fan of it. Do you guys know that Andy Reid was the Eagles defense head coach? Andy Reid is one of the great offensive minds in football, and not much he didn't win Super Bowls, but he did have some good coaches. Matt Nagy.
Yeah, Andy Reid. Yeah, Andy Reid, I think was with the Eagles, wasn't he, or the head coach or the offensive coordinator? Yeah, Andy Reid's a great mind, offensive coordinator and head coaching. Just like Norv Turner was a great offensive coordinator, but a bad coach. And see, I would mind having him back in Dallas because he was an awesome offensive coordinator. But as we've seen, he's a coach because he coached Redskins, he coached Raiders, got fired from both teams, so he wasn't much of a coach.
And Chargers,
yeah. Andy Reid is the man. I have to give it to him. Andy Reid is one of those, once in a lifetime, no nonsense coaches. Now, see, Paulson, Andy Reid couldn't coach in Dallas because he couldn't deal with Jerry Jones. As we all know, real coaches couldn't coach in Dallas. That's why I see Jason. To me, Dallas is a real problem. Dallas has talent. Only problem is the coaching and the general manager ownership. Jerry Jones has
I'll tell you this.
And so does Jason Garrett, especially Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett is a yes man. Because see, Jason Garrett, even when we're losing, he's always clapping and doing this like, okay, it's okay. What the hell are you clapping for? Please, come on, man.
Can you imagine if we had Norv Turner as our offensive coordinator and Wade Phillips as our defensive coordinator?
Yeah, it'd be a different story. Yeah. Now all we need is a new owner, and we'll be okay.
Dang, I feel sorry for you, Cowboys fans. I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, I mean, I love the team, and we win some games, but Jerry Jones has got to go.
I'm going to tell you, Malik, whenever Jerry was letting his son run that team, Steven has a football mind. He has a good business mind for the game.
Okay.
And the years that Steven was doing it, because Jerry would make me throw the goddamn freaking remote at the TV every year for draft. We need offensive line. So what does he get? A running back. Secondary. So what does he get? A freaking wide receiver. And it's like, why are you freaking doing this, man? You're getting the opposite of what you need.
That's true, yeah. I think his son is starting to run it a little more, though, a little bit. I think he has more of a hands in it now because look at this. We almost drafted, what's the guy that went to Cleveland? Mr.
Oh, don't say it. Johnny Manziel. Oh.
I forget his. Yeah, mine. We almost drafted Johnny Manziel, but guess what? His son snatched the thing out of his hand. So that's a start, you know.
That's crazy. I think that needs to trade some draft picks for JJ Watt. So that JJ Watt wants to go to a big market team like Chicago.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but the thing is, with the salary cap and everything, you know, JJ Watt's going to want some more money. So, you know, certain teams can't get players, especially if they don't have if it's over the salary cap. Say there's a limit. The salary cap is basically like an NFL law now.
I'm going to sit there and say this right now, Bearstown. I am going to make so much fun of Steven Rose if J.J. Watt ends up in Chicago. And this is why. Whenever Houston bought in J.J. Watt, you know, of course, J.J. Watt was doing J.J. Watt. But the year that they should have gotten the year that they got Jadeveon Clowney, I said they should have gotten Khalil Mack.
Hold on, the Mac dance.
Because I'm going to tell you, y'all need to get Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack is going to be a more productive player than Jadeveon Clowney. And they went and got Jadeveon Clowney. And he's been injured for most of his life. And it's like, why did you get Jadeveon Clowney? Why didn't you get Khalil Mack? And now, so that means that Chicago's going to, if Chicago lands J.J. Watt, that means they'll have J.J. Watt and Khalil Mack. And then I get to make fun of the Houston fans saying, hey, you could have had that defense, but you didn't.
Oh, yeah, that would be a nice combination. Khalil Mack and Watt on the same defensive front on the rush. Now, that's a beast of a pass rush there. Any team that faces them two on the same team, on the same team, watch out. Hey, look, I don't even think Drew Brees could even handle that.
No.
If you get Mack and you got Hicks and then LaFleur and then you get the J.J. Watt, Andy Goldman.
Matt? Yeah, it's something like a fantasy football combination.
You're fucked.
Come true.
And Eddie Jackson.
Yeah, and the bad thing is Houston could have had that. Houston could have had Khalil Mack and J.J. on the same defensive front, but they chose Jadeveon Clowney, who was already injured coming out of South Carolina, and he had already had a history of being injured. And it's like, why would you go ahead and make this guy first pick overall when you have the guy at the same position, Khalil Mack, that has been more productive and has had less injury concerns? But they decided to go with Jadeveon Clowney.
And then Mack, go ahead, Malik.
Yeah, and Khalil Mack was very productive with the Raiders. But the Raiders had to give him up, of course, due to circumstances, I guess, money or
he's productive with the Bears too.
Yeah, very productive with the Bears. Yeah, as we see. Yeah, Khalil Mack is a beast. He's basically, I guess you can say your present day Mean Joe Green or Jack Lambert or
LT Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
Think about now.
The pass goes. Here, look, there's one dude that's kind of scary, but I think him and Dominic Sue would get along because Dominic Sue is also kind of a dirty player himself in a lot of ways. Jack Tatum.
Jack Tatum
was basically a killer because he put people in the hospital and people in wheelchairs the way he hit. He couldn't play today because he would get flagged almost every play and probably get fined. See, back then, Paulson, as you know, you could play football. You were able to hit.
I don't.
You can't hit now.
Yeah, LT.
Let's talk about this now. No, I'll talk about the Mac. I think Mac almost went to the Packers too, but the Bears said, you're not going to get the Mac. I like because the Packers are garbage, so they wanted to get the Mac, and Bears said, no, we need the Mac too. And that's why I predict the Bears will win the division, because I thought, I know that the Bears can clear Mac, but I think Mac want to go into the Bears because of the Bears linebacker tradition too. When you deal with the Bears, it's traditional linebackers, or like Buckus,
Dick Buckus. That's right. That was your baddest boy, Dick Buckus. And on offense, your baddest runner was Gale Sayers. Yeah,
And
but
Walter
Vic
Payton.
was he put the Bears defense on the map.
And what about Mike Singletary?
Nice secretary too.
Oh
Those
yeah.
real
Oh,
linebackers.
forgot your boy, the Fridge.
Pitcher is good too. But let's talk about the hard situation. It's just like the Bears has so many good linebacker core. Walter Payton is a good player of all time. Walter Payton was Walter Payton changes the game.
Oh,
Look,
yeah, sweetness.
Walter Payton changed the game. You got Olacker who changed the game. You got Buckers, one of the greatest linebackers. Bill George, who created the 4-3. I'm getting a little nerdy, but the point is, Bulldog Turner, the defense, Bears always been the defense team for years, since the 20s and 30s. We talk about the powerhouse. The Bears are the monsters in the powerhouse team. They're like the Notre Dame of football, kind of like the top people, like kind of like you talk about the history of the game. Just the Bears for the they created the NFL the defensive teams. I think it fits the system. Look at how treated linebackers you have. No other actors. You got Lance Briggs, the Hall of Famer as well. You got Pat Parrish, who came in Chicago's this defense. The monsters in Midway are back when it is over Otis, Wilbur Marshall. This game is changing. I think the NFL is still a defensive team. When Mac did, he wanted to go to Chicago Bears. That's where the historically linebackers, you know?
That's true, yeah. Because you have historic linebackers everywhere all throughout the league. Because even back in the days when I was even though I was a Cowboys fan, I enjoyed watching other teams, other players I respected so much. Like for instance, of course, Chicago, Walter Payton. I love watching Walter Payton play because he was a great player and a great man. It's too bad he died of cancer, like he did. And then, like I said, you had the Steelers. You had the Steel Curtain, great defense. Us, Doomsday. The Redskins had the Hogs. Even though I hate the Redskins, I did like John Riggins. He was good. I admit he was a good runner. Joe Theismann was good. Now, the Redskins had Doug Williams, won a Super Bowl with him, and then cut him after one season. I understand that. And Doug Williams was an awesome quarterback. John Elway for the Broncos had their awesome team. You know.
Wow. And that's posting about the whole thing. They don't mean the right. Some of the monsters maybe it was. The Bears could have, the Cowboys could have in the right too. The Cowboys want to Payton. The pass on want to Payton team to get Wendy White. You know, the best thing the Cowboys did was Wendy White. Could have been a Bear. But you see it like this now. Traditionally, offensively, one team, the passing team. It's just changing in Chicago. Now it's about passing team. People caught up now.
Yeah.
The Pretty Boys changing that. There's more receiving yards, more Trey Coleman, more like John had bad year to the Aaron's this year. Yeah, I think things are changing. And look at the Dallas Cowboys. It's just involved. The Bears involving now. You can't wonder what it used to be. It's more passing yards, pass. Because the rules change.
Like whenever you're talking, but see, here's the deal, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you're talking about 80s football and 90s football, it always like you wanted a good running back to go ahead, help sustain drives. You look at your boy Walter Payton, sweet. Yeah, he would, you had a good defense behind him, and then he could keep your drives alive. And, they ran the ball so well. O.J. Simpson, even back in those days, he was like that for Buffalo. You had Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders.
Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker. You had those teams for the traditional winning team.
Dorsett too.
Dorsett, Earl Campbell. Those teams won a lot. And so, it was always customary to have a good running back. And, the guys like Elway, the guys like Marino that were high passing, they were kind of one-dimensional. You had to have a good defense and you had to have a good running game if you wanted to stay alive in the NFL. So, like Malik, I would watch guys like Barry Sanders. I'd watch guys like Dermot Thomas with amazement as well for what they could do. Now the league is set up to where it's like everybody gets 5,000 yards every year. It seems a lot of people get 5,000 yards, and it's become a pass-happy league. And while that's kind of cool, it is okay. The defense, they've handcuffed the defense so much that sometimes it's not as I can look back at the 80s and the 90s and the 70s and whatnot and still go back and watch those games. It's not as prolific to me personally with the way that they've handcuffed the defenses. Now, I understand that you want to protect people from, concussions and all this kind of stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that they've went overboard with handcuffing the defense. Passing for 5,000 yards, to me, still should mean something. And it's like when you get 5,000 yard, 4,000 yard passers year after year, it's not as impressive as whenever Elway or Marino or even Young to a degree, Montana would go for those kind of yardage against the defenses that they were having to play against.
Yeah. Back again, like I said earlier, in the 80s, I'm trying to tell you, the 85 Bears. 85 Bears were the best team in the era. Like the best player in 85 was Walter Payton, right? You get Eric Dickerson. Now this is when this change is not about passing league. The Packers were ahead of everybody else. Why? Now every kind of Packers changed the game. When Aaron Rodgers, you got Brett Favre. That changed the whole system, the whole game. And Bears was behind the Packers every single damn year. Sorry, Packer fans, if you're listening to this, and Bears fans, you get mad as well. Packers always ahead of Bears. Why? They always have the good passing game. Aaron Rodgers have done to Aaron Donald. Brett Favre done to Tony Freeman. Donald Dyer. Packers always have the offense with the finesse of teams cut up now. People now, the Packers are just cut up now because now look at the Vikings now. They have more passing, get the more passing. The Vikings got behind because you guys have Adrian Peterson. If it's 8 minutes back, you start Adrian Peterson. Now you get more passing league. Now you got Kirk Cousins, which one of the best quarterbacks. Now you got Kirk Cousins. Now you got Steven Diggs. I'm pretty sure we start our Vikings as well because they deserve a lot. Steven Diggs, one catch receivers there. You got the Bears you got Eddie Robinson, you got Miller has kind of speedsters, and you got the Robinson, Jay Cohen, and Miller. This is a passing offense. Some passing receivers are pretty good. Green Bay used to have that receiving camp, and now Detroit's the same way. What do you think about that? Things change now. Just things that changed since then. Or passing league, the Cowboys have the similar in the 90s. You have the Troy Aikman. You have Harper. Remember Harper? Irvin Harper and Michael Irvin.
I remember him.
The two.
We don't have those guys today.
No, like I said, we had the talent back. We had the talent, but also we had the coach that molded that talent. That's the thing. See, even if we had those guys today under Jason Garrett, we wouldn't have back-to-back Super Bowls or a third Super Bowl win. Even if we had Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith in their prime right now. Like I said, see, Jason Garrett, the system that Jason Garrett, that Jerry Jones, has basically saddled us with, unfortunately. Like I said, a lot of fans I talk to say Jerry Jones needs to get on his hands and knees and crawl back to Jimmy Johnson and apologize. Offer him whatever he wants. Offer him the sweetest deal he can. Basically, just kiss his ass to come back. But of course, we know that's not going to happen. But
Well, I'll say this right now. Jimmy Johnson. A lot of people were skeptical about saying that college coaches can come in and coach in the NFL because it's two different worlds. Mm-hmm. But Jimmy Johnson was the first one to actually come out and not only win a national championship, but also to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and like I said, it took him 5 years.
Back to back. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, I'm saying I was just gonna say it took him 5 years to build that team because that team was. Remember, his first year we were 1-15. So by his discipline and by his patience and guidance, 5 years later, see, it takes time to build a team. If you got the right tools in place.
And let's not just totally shit on Tom Landry. Tom Landry was a great coach too. He was handcuffed by his height as well. But both of those guys were exceptional coaches. And I think Jimmy Johnson got a lot of heat for replacing Tom Landry.
Well, he did. That was on Jerry Jones's part because Jerry Jones just came in and spit on everybody, spit on tradition and everything. I didn't see where Tom Landry was cuffed because for what I understand, Tex Graham was actually a smart owner. He basically just sat back and let Tom Landry do his job.
Yeah, but where Tom Landry was handcuffed at was he didn't want the owner didn't want to pay. You know what I'm saying? You look at
I remember that. Yeah,
that he didn't want to pay the players.
See, back then players weren't signed with $250,000 or millions of dollars bonuses like they are now. And to me, half the shit is just greed. I think players are getting money that they didn't earn yet. You know what I mean? Because back then you had to earn. You had to earn the money. You know you were good, but of course you wanted more.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, but that's technical issues.
Yeah, there's two of you now, and one's I guess you got four on one. Okay.
That's kind of screw up sometimes. I didn't know the Cowboys did in the 90s much. If you watch Football Life, the damage thing that Jerry Jones did, he just destroyed Aikman's career. You know what I mean? That's a problem I've seen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Poston?
Yeah.
So, the best thing, if you watch Football Life with Troy Aikman, if you're a Cowboys fan, I know you guys saying.
Okay, I haven't watched it yet. Okay, you saying Jerry Jones destroyed his career?
I think so. Because what Troy Aikman came in, him and Barry Sent, when James got left, right? Troy Aikman, I watch Football Life. I watch documentaries. Good lifestyle. I recommend that documentary. Anyways, with Troy Aikman, I watch Football Life. I like the documentary of the Cowboys. I'm a Bears fan. I'm not a Bears fan, but I'm a fan of football. Basically, I watch Football Life and kind of analyze it and stick it and get facts. When the Barry Switzer came in, remember the Barry with him and Skate Bay had a fight. Remember the book posted in the 90s? Aikman was being gay. Barry Switzer was a blame face. Barry Switzer was not the coach.
It was Skip Bayless that started those rumors of Troy Aikman being gay.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah,
I heard something about that, but I didn't think it was true because the guy's married to a woman. I mean, if he had secret tendencies, which I don't believe he did, I wouldn't. It would come out because somebody would out him, for that. But
and also Barry Switzer also said Troy Aikman was racist. One of the coaches there from Barry Switzer, and Charles Hiddick wanted to whoop someone, so Jennings kicked him in his ass. And Charles Hiddick is Troy Aikman's best friend, and Charles Hiddick is African American. And if you've seen the documentary, what do you think? Did you hear about that or no?
I ain't heard. I heard a glimpse of he was being racist, but I didn't think nothing of it. But I don't think he was. I can tell. I mean, you can tell the soul of a man when you look at him, and even when he talks, you tell he's not racist. You can't be racist and play on a team with other black players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't work. You know what I mean? It might as well be like going back in the days of the true movie, that movie that made the true story of Remember the Titans. You know what I mean? When you had the white players, black players, had to get on and immigrate, and then they did, and they went undefeated. So you can't be racist and you can't be racist in today's NFL league and play on a team of black players. It's not gonna work. All you can do is get kicked off the team.
I think one of Barry Switzer's friends started the rumor, and Charles Hiddick then kicked someone's ass. Because Charles Hiddick was a best friend of Troy Aikman, and Charles Hiddick defended Troy Aikman. That's his best friend. His best friend and defended Aikman, and that's a lot of facts out there. I'm just doing the facts out there. The fact is that Jerry Jones ruined Aikman's career, and Michael Irvin's there. Troy Aikman had to be the back cop, and that's the thing that guys Cowboys got late in the late 90s.
One thing about that documentary, which I find it very, very interesting, especially listening to Jimmy Johnson, is Jimmy Johnson wanted Troy Aikman in Miami with Michael Irvin, and he also wanted him at Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So could you imagine if Jimmy Johnson would have gotten Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin in Miami, what they would have done?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, when Jimmy Johnson went to coach in Miami for I think a year or two before he retired for good. Yeah, I think Miami would have been a beast, powerhouse.
Yeah, and then he went to Dallas and finally got him and won 3 Super Bowls with him. Jim.
Yep. Also, if you remember, look at this. Before that team came along, when Dallas was down, the worst trade in history. People called it the worst trade with the Minnesota Vikings. People say that to this day, Minnesota basically gave us a team, and basically, kind of they did, because all those players, Troy Emmett and all included, they were all Vikings before they came to Dallas. They traded all. They wanted Herschel Walker. We gave Herschel Walker for all those players. They said that was worst trade. That was like robbery. Somebody said.
Think about it. Jimmy Johnson know how to draft.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
I can hear you. Yeah, we hear you, but your audio breaks up a lot for some reason. I don't know. Are you on your phone or on the computer?
I'm on the phone.
All right, cool.
Oh yeah, see that's the phone is bad to me. I mean, I couldn't do it on the phone.
Yeah,
me either. Okay, I get both of them. Think about it now, Aikman. Let's give Jimmy Johnson a quick, right? Jimmy Johnson knew what he was doing. He knew the draft players well. He knew the players well. He was scouting mind. The fact the Super Bowls were against the Dallas Cowboys. Tom Landry drafted Mark Irvin. And what's the guy's name? And Tex Ram drafted Mark Irvin, right? So everyone was Tom Landry's there, bad baits. What Jim Johnson did, he just traded. I want to get my draft picks, get his guys. Look at Aikman was there, his first draft pick. You look at Aikman there. What Jimmy Johnson knew, he was a drafter. Jim Johnson knows how to draft. And that's the thing I think people don't know. Anybody can get draft picks. If the Browns had Jimmy Johnson, that Jimmy Johnson is a genius. You know what I mean? That Browns team should have hired Jimmy Johnson because Jimmy Johnson knows how to draft players. And that's the thing that I guess about credit goes to Jimmy Johnson. Why he should be Hall of Fame? Because Jimmy Johnson knows how to draft. He knows how to get the players. Look, I think Jimmy Johnson is one of the best GM managers of all time. Underrated, in my eyes. What do you guys think?
I think that whenever you look at the Minnesota train robbery that Jimmy pulled off, a lot of people at the time. Yeah, are you there? Can you hear me?
I'm here. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. The Minnesota train robbery. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's what Jimmy calls it, the great train robbery. But whenever he pulled that off, a lot of people wasn't so excited because whenever you're trading somebody like Herschel Walker at the time, Herschel Walker was like Adrian Peterson back whenever Adrian Peterson was in his prime. So it was seen as a pretty controversial move. And he was pretty much the source of all Dallas's defense at the time. I mean, offense at the time. So, whenever he pulled that off, it was a ballsy move. He risked a lot. So, he had already had Troy Aikman signed. They knew they were going to already draft Troy Aikman. They bring in Michael Irvin the year before. Michael Irvin was the last pick for Tom Landry. And then, you look at all the defensive studs and the offensive linemen that they got. Definitely. Jimmy could he knew the college ranks, first off, because he had successfully won a national championship. So Jimmy had already knew from his college football days, these guys are going to be, these guys are going to win us a Super Bowl. So whenever he came in, the first few years that Jimmy came in, while he was trying to get his players in and get, the previous players out that were just there just to go ahead and earn a check, Jimmy was going to win a Super Bowl. And, he got his guys. He got Troy Aikman, which was one of his guys. He ended up Michael Irvin, of course, Michael Irvin was his guy, and they had already had Michael Irvin. He ended up getting him at Smith. Then he ended up getting these defensive studs in the draft later on, like a Kevin Smith and a Larry Brown later on, and all these, all the players that he wanted, he ended up getting. And, whenever, you look at college and you're trying to recruit, it's going to be harder to get those guys in. But when you can draft them, this is what made Jimmy a superior coach. You look at Nick Saban right now for Alabama, and everybody's like, oh, Nick Saban's one of the greatest coaches of all time. Nick Saban failed at doing what Jimmy did. You know what I'm saying? He played for he was
Dolphins head coach.
And then had to go back down to college. Some people are better college coaches. Some people are better NFL coaches. Jimmy was just a great coach.
Jim Harbaugh was the same thing. Jim Harbaugh, I feel like look at Michigan. Jim Harbaugh, he was alright, but he had Vic Fangio as his defensive coordinator. You know what I mean? And no offense to Jim Harbaugh, but Jim Harbaugh had a defensive guys like Patrick Willis. You know what I mean? Bowman. You know, Patrick Willis is a Hall of Famer as well. And Patrick Willis retired early. Patrick Willis one of the best linebackers. Now people say, "Oh, come on, Gil, how can you say this shit?" Well, back in the day, people would debate who's better, Urlacher or Patrick Willis. Remember that comparison, right? Urlacher was the best. The fact is, Patrick Willis playing in San Francisco, now Chicago, he didn't get the love of recognition. Oh, West Coast supposed to be the pretty boy offensively, not the mean and nasty. Look how it is in how the Finance defense. That Finance Super Bowl won. That was taken by exactly Finance defense. That defense league in San Francisco that had success because under Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio was successful in San Francisco. Jim Harbaugh is good at Michigan. Jimmy Johnson have a defensive mind coach, the 4-3 system. He knew how to recruit. He knew all. He got no talent. He wants to be a bad coach for example for the Bears. Jimmy Johnson was different guys. And you got Charles Haley stuff. Why? Because Jimmy Johnson was a general manager and a coach. He knew the defense. What do you think?
Very true. Very well said. Yeah. Like I said, you had Jim Harbaugh. You had that coach for the Steelers, not Tomlin, but the other one with the mustache. You know the dude he's an analyst on the pregame show with the mustache. What's his name?
Bill Cowher.
Yeah, Bill Cowher. That's what I'm talking
about. He lost to the Cowboys back in '85.
Yeah, Bill Cowher. Yeah, and also you had Bill Parcells for the Giants. He was a great coach. Yeah, Bum Phillips back in the day. Chuck Noll, of course. You know, yeah. The mark of a great coach is basically to have good players, coach a good team. Of course, the owner has to be behind him and not interfere like a certain person we know today.
Jerry Jones.
He's the only owner I know that does that shit too.
That's a point, Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is things on football. Like I know Jerry, you're not good, but that's what football guys run. The thing goes with the McCaskies did in the '90s. They after the Richmond Super Bowl, they fired the head coach. Now, Bears fans, 40 Bears fans, you got two young team member. Michael McCaskey was the stupidest owner. Okay, that guy fired Mike Ditka. I'm gonna take some stupid. He just got rid of the star player. He got rid of Otis Wilson. Will Marshall, Jim McMahon, all this bunch of players, and went it down. He fired Dick. He hired Dave Armstrong, which turned the Bears to the ground. And Bears had that in the 90s. Now he left the regime. That's McCaskey's on the Bears, but it's George McCaskey. That only should the Bears have is letting we're gonna let the coaches win the team. Look, Ryan Pace, he just been the grind up. Look the Bears at right now. They have a good offensive coach, good of mine. Jesus, let the coach. And like the Art Davis. Art Davis is doing the same thing. He has success with John Madden, he has success with Tom Flores. Look at the Raiders now. They went dead. Look what happened to the Raiders. No offense to Art Davis. Art Davis, the last couple of years, the names went down. What do you think? That's Jerry Jones' stupidity. He let his son do. What do you think, guys? Boston, Malik.
What's talking about? Hang on, real quick.
Jerry Jones.
Oh, Jerry Jones. Yeah. Well, there's a reason why they call it Jerry's World. I hear that on ESPN a lot now. What's going on in Jerry's World? Yeah, and that's literally it's Jerry's World.
2.0. Art Davis 2.0. He's like Art Davis.
Sorry, Art Davis for the or you talking about Art Davis for Al Davis for the Raiders.
He's like the Al Davis of today.
Oh, I didn't even know Al Davis was like that. I mean, I thought the Raiders owner at the time was a good owner. I mean, the Raiders too won a Super Bowl, back in '84, and they beat the Redskins. But anyway, Well, Jerry Jones, at least Jerry Jones won't be there forever. So, and the thing is, when he first took over the team, the dude got his money basically by the way of oil business. So it's like when he bought the Dallas Cowboys, it's like something to play with. You know what I mean? He had a toy to play with. And then look at the money he spent on the new stadium. Texas Stadium was sacred ground. That's the sideline that Tom Landry walked all those years. That was sacred ground. You don't mess with Texas Stadium, but to build that stadium with all of them, I mean, I understand. Okay, you want a showplace, and that's what it is as a showplace. Because look, WrestleMania was held there 1 year years ago. He rented the arena out to Vince McMahon of all people to something fake.
But see, like the reason why you got Texas Stadium, they moved Dallas. And it's technically not in Dallas anymore. It's in Arlington. But I think one of the reasons why Jerry moved it is because you have Six Flags in the area, and then you have Wet n' Wild, you have the Texas Rangers, you have everything right there in that area. So I think that he moved it basically because it's a lot more accessible to more people here in Texas than it was in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Because it was out there in Dallas.
I understand that point of view, yeah, but I disagree with that point of view because Texas Stadium was still sacred ground because I don't think the people in Dallas cared because Texas Stadium was just, it was just sacred. It was just a good atmosphere, Dorsett played there, Roger Staubach played there, and Jerry Jones, he just spent on it. I mean, to spend all that money at the time on all these little bars that you can watch the game at, and all that stuff, and you're not spending money on the team. That's money that could have been put into offensive line and defensive line at the same time. He basically wasted millions of dollars on sprucing up a stadium for a showplace instead of spending it on the team.
I don't know. I'm not sure how much Jerry actually put in of the team's money. I don't think that goes against the salary cap. But like I said, whenever you look at Texas Stadium had been there for years, and it's still played. I mean, they still use it for like college or high school football games and whatnot, especially state high school football games. It gives a little bit back to the the school kids and whatnot. So I mean, it's not like they're completely doing away with it, but that stadium they needed somewhere more, especially with the kind of audience that Dallas gets and the kind of drawing that they get. They needed something a little bit more comfortable than what Texas Stadium was. If you go to Jerry World and you watch a Dallas Cowboy game and then just go to Dallas Cowboy Stadium, you're going to tell a difference. So I think that it was more made for the consumer than was necessarily, made for I'm just going to disrespect the Cowboys or whatnot. They needed somewhere to put in more people because after Cowboys, kind of came back. You know what I'm saying? Back in the 80s, the Cowboys fandom kind of dropped off a little bit. And this is whenever it came in. And then in the 90s, you had Jimmy Johnson. You had all these boy fans that come from everywhere, And I think a bigger venue for them. I just don't think that Dallas Cowboys was to house 90s. And you look at those crowds that Dallas, and it's kind of like to a degree. I look at Philadelphia. What's their stadium name in Philadelphia?
Lincoln Financial Field.
Yeah, and then you look at Soldier Field, and a lot of those fields are kind of really old and dated, and they get a lot of injuries as well. You know what I'm saying?
I never feel too. And Lambeau Field. I know people hard. Lambeau Field is a best. That's Lambeau Field. Historic ground as well. That's why that's Buddy Cole and then by Bart Scott, Quick Nixie, Brett Favre, Rodgers. And Bears still those Soldier Field too. Like the old Soldier Field was. I like the old Soldier Field. If you remember back to the original days, this Soldier Field here, you could tell that changed everything. That shit.
Yeah, Soldier Field was like really, really dangerous for players. And I'll tell you who needs an update as well. Philadelphia needs an update, and Cleveland needs an update because look at all the injuries they get year after year, man.
Well, Cleveland's stadium is updated because when Art Modell was there and they wouldn't build him a new stadium, that's when he moved the team to Baltimore and they became the Baltimore Ravens. And finally, when Cleveland came back to the league as an expansion team, they finally built them a new stadium.
The Bronx Stadium was nice. Have you been to Cleveland guys before? I've been to Cleveland State before. It's nice. The Bronx Stadium is it's nice outside. And I've been to Bronx. Never been to Bronx. It's nice. Canton. It's like the high school stadium in Canton, which the Hall of Fame was there for Hall of Fame. People know.
Of course, yeah, Canton, Ohio, yeah.
It's a pretty good place to claim. It's like an hour away. I don't know why. My dad didn't move the Bronx to Canton. You know, Canton is a good place to be. You know, the Hall of Fame is there. The Hall of Fame is there. And Armin does the stupidest edict. If the Browns were playing Canton, you know, I mean, the Hall of Fame is there. That Browns team built Canton more better.
Well, like, okay, you want to talk about sacred ground? The Houston Astrodome was considered the eighth wonder of the world. But Bud Adams ended up moving his team to Tennessee because of the dangerous conditions of the field and whatnot. And Houston didn't want to give him a stadium. But, you know, at the same time, you're trying to protect your players, and they were getting a lot of injuries. So, you know.
It's like baseball, for example. All Comiskey Parks. All Comiskey Park baseball park in the world.
Yeah.
Right, Malik?
Oh, yeah.
That's where Babe Ruth came. Shuzor Jackson, Pete Bowles, and Mickey Mantle played at Yankee Stadium. Really feel at the Cubs Stadium in the park. That really feels going to shut down sooner or later in the park. Like all stadiums, like when the field has a lot of majority of bandwagon fans. You can tell Comiskey Park has those stadiums going to shut down. And people are talking about the soldier. Like I agree with 100% this. Because Old Comiskey Park was secret ground. Old Sheffield was secret ground. But a lot of people can play. You know, now you should feel there'll be more that, but I don't like the new Soldier Field, to be honest with you. We might like it more differently. Look at the LA Rams. For example, the LA Coliseum. LA Coliseum was there, right? Historic, nice place where all historic teams came in. The whole Bob Weatherfield, Deacon Jones, Mary Olsen, all those good players for the Rams has, of course, Oakland Raiders who were there, like Marcus Allen, like so who else you have? Harry Long. All those good players you have now that LFC is they bad, yeah. But are they gonna have it? Jack Youngblood, all these historic names, the LFC. That LFC is not gonna be a football stadium for 2 more years next year. I want to go to LA Coliseum because how can you say this? Well, I want to go to LA Coliseum. That's where this historic is.
Well, that's no fair as Bearstown because we know why you didn't want a field update in Chicago because you were hoping Jay Cutler would get injured for all them years. So you were probably going up there setting little traps for Jay Cutler to get injured.
That was his name, Jay Cutler. I forgot his name.
Oh, man.
Jake Cutler. That was his name. Like I said, I know Bears fans guy's name. I forgot his name because when I saw Trubisky, I was like, who? Jake who?
Jake Cutler. Jake Cutler's they guys a bum.
Yeah. Just while we're on the subject of Jake Cutler, where is he now? Is he still playing or is he out of the league?
He's still there in TV stuff, like being lazy and corners. Cutler fans like, oh my goodness. Twitter, like,
Cutler's not playing now.
Jay Cutler is a glorified Brock Osweiler. You know what I'm saying? He's one of these guys that everybody says, oh, well, he has potential, but he never shows the potential. He just has potential. Mark Sanchez was the same way, and that's like Jay Cutler. Does he have potential? Oh, well, he's got good metrics. He's got good metrics. And then 4 interceptions later, okay, do you think maybe we should move on? No, just sign him to another $70 million contract. Oh, and he'll get better.
Line and receivers. Like, man, you got very much a dumbass. Like,
No, I was asking, is Jay Cutler still playing with
No,
the
he's
team?
not. No, he's not. He's been TV model.
Oh, okay. So what is he, analyst now? Is he on
No,
commentary? Oh,
celery.
oh, that figures. Okay. And Mark Sanchez, I forgot his name too. Yeah, he was
Both
with
of
the
them.
Jets. So both of them are gone. Okay. Well, anyway, moving on. Oh, yeah. Another good quarterback. Like I said, in his own right, Matthew Stafford. I like him. Tall guy,
Me
he's
too.
strong.
Matthew Stafford. It's like sad. Okay, I'm a Bears fan. I hate the Lions. Like I said, Detroit Lions has a good defense, right? Remind me of my Bears. Lions should get the draft new quarterback. Delay Slay looks impressive. This Lions team defensively, they beat the Packers.
Yeah, and the Lions beat the Patriots. That's what I was shocked at that.
You get me?
I'll be honest with you, man. All them years of seeing Jay Cutler in Chicago, I was kind of like, well, I hope Chicago brings in Tim Tebow or somebody because
Here's the thing. People dog Tim Tebow. I like Tim Tebow. I thought he had good potential. I mean, people say he was more of a runner than a quarterback. I saw the potential to me in him, but I don't think he ever got the chance. I mean, he was with the Jets. I think he played with some other team, and then he was cut all together. But hey, look, at the time, the way Romo was playing, I would have taken Tim Tebow for Dallas. I'd have tried Tim Tebow out. That's how desperate I was.
The thing about Tim Tebow is that Denver
T-ball, remember?
Yeah. Denver actually screwed Tim Tebow. They took away like his pistol set offense and they made everything so much harder for Tebow to succeed. And while he wasn't coming into the league, he wasn't a starting quarterback. He had potential to develop like, say a Steve Young, but the NFL pretty much blacklisted Tebow because he all his merchandise sales went to charity. So the NFL wasn't making anything off of the Tebowing and off of Tebow's names like they do all these other NFL players. So of course he kind of got black. A lot of people don't understand it because the sports media, for the most part, is kind of actually they kind of fell and they feed into it. You know what I'm saying? But the real reason why Tim Tebow is blackballed and why the NFL hates Tim Tebow so much, and well, hate may be a strong word, but the reason why they try to blackball Tim Tebow so much, particularly on ESPN and whatnot, is because they couldn't make any money off of Tebow. Because Tebow said that if you go ahead and if anything that's licensed by me that you're going to make money, all that money has to go to charity. And so for his Make-A-Wish and all that stuff, he has a lot of charities that he contributes to. And that was a condition of his contract. So the NFL couldn't make any money off of him. So they kind of set him up for failure. And then they kind of got him out of the league. And this isn't conspiracy. This is true. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they have so much animosity. I don't think that he was a starting quarterback coming in, but I think he could have been developed into a pretty decent, serviceable quarterback, if not, a good quarterback, because he had the championship mentality. He had the work ethic, and, he had the physical attributes to be a successful quarterback. But, yeah, that's why he was blacklisted.
Well said. I agree, yeah. Like I said, when the few times I saw him play with Denver, I thought he did very well because he would run, he could throw. I mean, even my dad said he wasn't a quarterback, but I disagreed. I thought he was a good quarterback. They said he was more of a runner. But look, maybe that's the kind of quarterback maybe you need. You need a quarterback that can run, sit in the pocket and pass, yes, but also can scramble and run when he has to. I like an all-around quarterback. Even though his title's a quarterback, that's just a label. If he can do more than just quarterback, if he can if he can do more, do it all, hey, by all means. And we lost our host.
Yeah, I saw that.
I hope he comes back. This is his show. Okay, that means if he's gone more than 5 minutes, then it's going to be the live's going to change to clear. But okay.
Yeah, I definitely thought Tebow had potential, and particularly whenever you're talking about Chicago and Jay Cutler, Tebow could move the ball downfield, and with his running ability and whatnot, and with the defense that Chicago had at the time. There he is.
Saying, so what happened? Team Tebow?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're still live. Yeah, welcome back.
So stupid them letters fucked up shit. Anyways, damn letter you fix shit. I think you guys still alive. Anyways, still alive. Like Team Tebow got background. It's sad because Team Tebow was Christian. I mean, like you're a big fan of Tebow because Tebow can play. Tebow can beat the Bears too. I think Tebow's backup. Now he plays baseball team Tebow. He plays for the Mets now. And Tebow's looking out the better than baseball either. Tebow.
Yeah, I heard he's playing baseball now, or he was anyway. I mean, yeah, I liked him. I thought he looked good for the limited time I saw him. Now, when he went to the Jets, he didn't do as well. But of course, the Jets a different team, different system. You know what I mean? Sometimes the same offensive line can protect you, or I guess the play call is not as good. But for the plays, even though the Broncos kind of limited him a little bit, like as Poston spoke of, he was still able to do. I think on certain plays, if he had to make his own decision. If he made a decision to run or do that, he did. Like I said, I saw a lot of good potential, and I saw a lot of good skill out of Tebow for the short time he was in the league. It's a shame he didn't land with a team where he can develop it in a long-term sense. Like I said, I told fans I had taken him on Dallas. I said, hey, look, let's bring in Tebow. Let's bring in Tebow and put him as backup to Romo, because to me at the time, Tebow was looking better than Romo. Mm-hmm. That's just me, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, Tebow, but he's the right guy, the right privileged white boy. Tebow had a heart. Tebow has a good person for team. Even the team beat my Bears, back in 2011. But team is more like, if you have Team Tebow, Eddie Reed style split offense, which is now that Team Tebow did beat the split offense. You mean Poston and Malik? Back when Team Tebow. Before Team Tebow changed the game in many ways. Him and Colin Kaepernick changed the game.
Oh yeah, Colin Kaepernick. Now it's a shame what happened to him, but
him and Tebow got both blackmailed.
Yeah,
but Kaepernick and Tebow kind of changed the game.
That's for sure.
Split offense didn't exist 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Until Kaepernick came. Well, what do you think? And Tebow, I think that's still changed the game.
Yeah, well, Tebow was a game changer, but Kaepernick was blackballed for a whole different political reasons, which I'm not going to get into on here.
I know.
But I'm saying, short time I saw him play, he was good too. I mean, he liked to run a lot, but see, the 49ers had a system for him where the coach, the coach let him do that. But it's like some people said that he couldn't do that on other teams. Now, the thing is, at the time, I wanted Colin Kaepernick as well. I would have loved to have Colin Kaepernick on Dallas. This is before Dak came along, and I wouldn't mind still having him as a backup to Dak Prescott, because the guy we got, this guy Rush, or what his name is trash. So,
well, you have Tebow.
I think Colin Kaepernick is still young enough and good enough to play, but see, with all the political stuff and the beliefs and everything that's gone down, yeah, the NFL is not gonna welcome back Colin Kaepernick anytime soon.
How about Tebow? Would you like to have Kaepernick and Tebow too? Like the first two back.
Yeah, I would love to have Tebow back in Dallas. I would love to have if Tebow could still play football. I'd have Tebow back up Dak Prescott, or better yet, if I had my way, I'd have Colin Kaepernick second string and have Tebow as third string on Dallas. Put them both on Dallas.
You guys love Tebow here, but I think Tebow, the way Tebow is in Chicago is more like. I think Tebow would be better like I said, Tebow. I think. Split offensively, I'm gonna give Kaepernick a chance.
Well, this is so much better in Chicago. Is that Tebow could effectively move the chains, and he did. He could throw long. He had a hell of an arm.
He did.
He was tough. He was really, really big. He was built more like a fullback than a quarterback, but that's why he was able to move the ball. So whenever you look at a team like Chicago with a strong defense, that's all you really need. You don't need a quarterback that can throw, downfield and get like the Tom Brady type of quarterbacks or whatnot. You could have had a Tim Tebow move down the ball down the field, systematically moving the ball down the field, giving that defense a chance to rest. come up and game plan. And he probably would have, you would have been better in that Super Bowl with a quarterback like Tim Tebow than Gross Rexman. You know what I'm saying?
Rex Grossman. The thing
Yeah,
is,
I remember Gross Rexman. Yeah,
Rex Grossman's a damn Rex Grossman. God, I hate that guy. Him and Rex. I think Rex is good, better color.
yeah. Some quarterbacks like Rex Grossman come along and basically, they prove to be basically bums. So
In color.
I don't know. I mean, you had quarterbacks. Look at this, Brandon Weeden. Brandon Weeden was also with Cleveland. He was with Dallas for 1 year. Brandon Weeden was garbage for the most part because he maybe had 1 or 2 good plays, but a lot of times he did a lot of dumb stuff, and I think he threw a lot of more interceptions too.
Shea Matthews, K McNown. I mean, other buzz that have the Chicago's. Had a lot of crappy quarterbacks the years. Jim Harbaugh was another one.
JP Lossman.
Jim Harbaugh. Can we talk about the bad Dallas coaches have and bad coaches the Bears have? We have bad quarterbacks for years. You guys have Quincy Carter.
Yeah.
Ryan Leaf.
Yeah.
Chris Carter. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
Quincy Carter. Yeah.
Carter. Oh yeah, I thought he was pretty good for his time or in his own right in some ways. Yeah.
Jim Matthews. Jim Miller was like okay.
Yeah, Clay Matthews. Well, Clay Matthews. Yeah.
What about Chad Hutchinson?
Chad Hudson. Oh, that's about to Harbaugh.
Yeah, I remember Chad Hudson. Yeah.
What's the guy from Michigan who was Tom Brady's teammate in Michigan?
Who's that?
The guy's a quarterback who was teammates with Tom Brady in Michigan.
Oh, Drew Henson.
Drew Henson.
I remember Drew Henson. Yeah, you bring up names that I'm just remembering now. I remember seeing them, but I forgot their names. I guess they either weren't that good or didn't grab my attention.
They were just garbage. Craig Krenzel was garbage and Ohio State quarterback. Bears have garbage quarterbacks of the year. Tom Willis, Eric Cameron was okay. But we have Rick Meyer was garbage. Rick Meyer was garbage against the Dallas Cowboys in 7.
Yeah, Rick Meyer was supposed to be one of those ones. It was him and Drew Bledsoe. Everybody thought that, and this is where, ESPN gets it wrong a lot. You look at guys like Jeff George, Rick Meyer, which Rick Meyer probably would have.
My Bears too.
He wasn't an NFL quarterback. Ryan Leaf was supposed to be better than Peyton Manning. Then you had nothing against him. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl, but you had Trent Dilfer, Heath Schuler back in the days, and all these guys.
Trent Dilfer, yeah. Heath Schuler, I forgot about, but yeah. But as far as Drew Bledsoe, Drew Bledsoe was a Cowboy too for a time, and he was also a Patriot. And Brady was just a young, hungry lion waiting in the wings. Look at him now.
Now, a lot of people can say, "Okay, you praise the Patriots too much." The fact is, Patriots are awesome. Right? Will praise me. Congrats to Bears, our defense. But anyways, shout out to Will and your Patriots fans there. But I'm gonna defend the Patriots fans because I'm just tired of the Patriots get hate as well. Oh, I seen a video. Oh, what if Drew Bledsoe thing hurt? Like, Bledsoe should be flipped. Drew Bledsoe was underrated. Drew Bledsoe was good quarterback too. Drew Bledsoe was underrated quarterback.
Yeah, Drew Bledsoe was a phenomenal passer. It was he was supposed to be the next. You go back. If you want to see how awesome Drew Bledsoe was, go back and look at I think it was 93 or was it 94? The year they played the Dolphins.
94.
I think it was 94. And it was, whenever it was Dan Marino and Drew Bledsoe, and they were going back and forth. And I think Drew Bledsoe threw for almost 500 yards, and Dan Marino threw well over 500 yards. And that game right there was just, a phenomenal game. And that was just a good idea of what kind of quarterback Drew Bledsoe was. Now, Drew Bledsoe was one of those long passers, which I don't really like the long downfield passers. As far as I do. I like Troy Aikman, but Bledsoe was more like a Dan Marino type pass happy, where Aikman was more of he had Emmitt Smith, so he could get away with it a little bit more. But whenever you look at Brady gets it out quick. And you look at a guy like Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger likes to hold the ball too much.
Big Ben. That's what they call him.
Yeah.
Big Ben. I haven't seen. I mean, I don't watch the Steelers that closely, but I guess when I watch him, I've seen Ben get the ball out quickly. I mean, when he gets protection, I guess. But yeah, and then sometimes when he does hold the ball, and plus, like I said, he's not what you call a fast guy or a scrambler. You know, some quarterbacks just have that. You know, that can scramble and run.
Yeah, that's my problem with Dak as well. Is he holds on to the ball a little bit more than I like.
Yeah, that's true. You know, some plays, yeah, and also even sometimes when he holds it, because I think when he holds it, he's trying to find somebody downfield, but the coverage is too great, and that's when it's even when this, like I said, when the ball snaps, you're in the pocket, you got about five seconds at the longest before the pocket collapses, unless you got a 3-man rush and they're just really holding him. But of course, if you see the opening or if you're still looking, it's just trying to either try to scramble, or if you see somebody the pocket collapsing, just throw it away to the sideline. Just throw it away.
But see, here's where Brady. This is where Brady. A lot of people don't realize why Brady is as good as he is. Is if he uses the short game to open up the long game. So he's killing you. It's a game of chess for Brady. It's not checkers.
Mm-hmm.
And he uses the short passes to open up the long game. And with Dak Prescott, technically he could probably do it even better, since he can probably run a little bit faster than Brady can. But if Brady can't find anybody open, he's running it, or he's handing it off, and he's opening up that game systematically. And this is what Dak needs to do if Dak wants to, grow and develop. He needs to learn how to do that. And I figured by about this year, he would have probably been better at doing that this year. But, it's been here or there. He's been a little bit too inconsistent, and I just don't know how comfortable he is in the offense right now.
Wow. I think right now we're talking about the good Cowboys are. I'm pretty much talking about the upcoming teams that I see in the next 2 years. And one team that I fear the most is Detroit Lions. Now I think the Detroit Lions fans, I watch Detroit a lot. I think the Detroit Lions need a quarterback and a running back, a receiver. That can be good. Detroit Lions will be scary in the next 2-3 years. That's coming from a Bears fan.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, the Bears and Lions are like the Cowboys Redskins. That's your biggest rival, isn't it? I mean, it's a huge dislike between y'all's two teams, and y'all play every year on Thanksgiving, just like Dallas does. And it's fun to watch because, like I said, I remember years ago in the '80s when the Bears and the Lions went to overtime, and then y'all got the kickoff, and I think the Bears ran it all the way back for a touchdown and won the game.
Dave Adams,
spectacular, probably one of my favorite games.
Me too. I was in the '80s.
Fantastic finishes.
Man, I miss how good was the Lions. So I think Detroit was pretty good years. They had Barry Sanders, and Barry Sanders was fun to watch.
Yeah. Barry Sanders was the man. I don't understand why he retired the way he did when he was in his prime, but I guess maybe it was something in him. He had probably felt he'd done everything he did, and he retired.
Can you tell why Barry Sanders retired? It's conspiracy. Walter Payton got sick. Right?
Yeah, he got sick, yeah. He got some cancer or something.
Walter Payton got liver cancer, right? Barry Sanders felt bad. Walter Payton's going to die sooner or later. So, Walter Payton had a year to live. I think Barry Sanders will retire. If Barry Sanders break the record and Walter Payton dies, it's going to be hard for Barry Sanders because Walter Payton was the nicest guy. So that's what Barry Sanders did. I think Barry Sanders, when I admit it, Barry Sanders retired because it was time. His body gave up. But also, there's Walter Payton was going to die that year, 99, which I thought Walter would have see Barry Sanders play. I see Barry Sanders my first football game, Bears against the Lions, 98. And the first player I saw was the best running back. Sorry, Poston in the league. But I think other than Walter Payton, there was Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders was fast. He was energetic. I love Barry Sanders. I was like, oh shit, Barry Sanders come in.
Okay, I respect that opinion. Yeah, I mean, he was bad. He was good. I remember every once in a while, Facebook would post a thing on NFL plays, and I saw one of them was Barry Sanders. I watched the whole thing. Great stuff to watch. I mean, he could take a hit. He had moves, and once he broke into the secondary into the clear, he was gone.
he was fun to watch, and that's coming my first. The game to football was the Bears team and Barry Sanders in '8. And of course, Mary Cowboys were past to the prime, but if you've seen Barry Sanders, he was fun to watch, man. And I was fun seeing Barry Sanders play as a young football fan. Like, as a football fan, Barry Sanders was fun to watch in my first year, Randy Moss too. And then what can all that could stop him? I wish Barry could play 2 more years. And that Barry Sanders was legit. And I'm a fan of Barry Sanders. I'm a fan of Barry Sanders the way, like I said, Barry Sanders was the running tag. And I wish Barry Sanders could have gone to the Bears at least then or the Vikings because they have Randy Moss that year too. But I think Emmitt Smith break the record as well. Emmitt Smith break the record. I didn't like the record. Not Emmitt Smith break the record. Emmitt Smith is more like humble. So I think that's her too. What do you think, Poston? The Barry Sanders conspiracy thoughts.
I didn't catch a lot of it, man, because I was I had to reconnect, so I didn't hear your conspiracy thing.
Well, I think Barry Sanders retired because Walt Baker was sick. The record.
It's just a possibility. I can see him doing that.
So we say for water.
Yeah.
It's like somebody big white plays record. It's like
I can. Or go ahead.
It's like Hank Aaron breaking Babe Ruth's record, and that's more important. Was the Russian record was hottest that point. It's like Hank Aaron breaking Babe Ruth's record. It's like.
Well, I admit, it was either going to be him and Emmett ended up breaking it. So,
he was like Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
I think Walter Payton is like the Babe Ruth of running backs. Jim Brown is a fullback, guys. I know the offensive Browns fans, running backs. Walter Payton is the Babe Ruth of running backs. Fullbacks, that's Jim Brown.
I know that Barry Sanders' dad's favorite running back was Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
If you ever go back and listen to Barry Sanders, football live, his Jim Brown.
That's cool. I think it starts now. Ask me wonder, how the hell you know about Walter Payton? Well, you're seeing the Yankee fans, and now Yankee fans see Babe Ruth play. As I thought, Walter Payton was like the Babe Ruth of football, the Bambino, the myths, the so-called curse the Packer fans made up to the years, the Redskins fans, the loss. I hate the Washington Redskins fans. Seriously, I do. That's why we're the Cowboys over the Redskins. Because the creator myth, Walter Payton's curse, the Bears are cursed, you can score a touchdown. The curse of Bambino, something like that is a curse. The curse of sweetness in the Bears, that's a so-called curse. The myth. But Barry Sanders was the man. I think Barry and Emmitt Smith were two best running backs. I'm glad Emmitt Smith break the record. At least it was in the Packer. At least Emmitt Smith is more humble and pass the torch. I wish to see more Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith also has a career as well. Sure too. I mean, Emmitt Smith, I didn't see the prime Emmitt Smith in his prime. I seen Barry Sanders in his prime, Taylor Davis in his prime. You know what I mean?
Sure, we hear you.
I wish I could see more of Barry Sanders' prime. I could see Walter Payton his prime, Barry Sanders, Taylor Davis. I was cheated, in the race.
Hey, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here because my phone's dying, and I gotta go recharge it real quick.
I'm gonna end the show too. What's your final thoughts, guys?
Final thoughts are, NFL looks very competitive this year.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Dallas can stay in first place and maybe make the playoffs, but I doubt it. Like I said, we're playing the Saints. Even though this is, despite as good as we look, even though, like I said, at the end of the day, Paulson, you never know which team's going to show up because Dallas can be hot and cold. And even though as good as we look, we're still struggling and it's still a long way to go. So I don't think we're a playoff team. That's just me. And like I said, if we lose and if Drew Brees decimates us, which I think he will, I'm hoping not by a lot. And if we can beat the Saints, it'll be a struggle, but it'll be a confidence booster too. Like I said, if we of all people could beat the Saints, unlike the Eagles, it'd be great. But I doubt it. Like I said, our defense has got to work on the secondary, and we got to work on our pass rush because we really got to pass rush and neutralize Drew Brees for this to work. That's my final thought.
Poston?
Well, it looks like Dallas played their way up into first place. We're on a winning streak, so hopefully we can build momentum off of this week's win. Go in, get a victory over there in New Orleans. Hopefully we can go ahead and finish this being division champions. There's not going to be any wild card come out of the NFC East right now, and
Bears fans here.
put this momentum on it.
Bears fans here want the Saints to lose. Go Cowboys. You have the Bears too, so that's
Hook'em horns, you know what I'm saying? I want to go ahead and leave off with my Hook'em horns. We made the Big 12 championship, so I'm glad with that. So the next one is going to be the Dallas Cowboys.
For once in my life, guys, I'm suffering.
How competitive we're going to be, but if there's a good chance that maybe this Cowboys team, if they can get into the playoffs, will be battle hardened and they can make a run in the playoffs this year. Hopefully. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you, yeah.
Okay. Did Bearstown drop out again?
No, I think he froze though.
Oh, okay.
Well, if he froze, I guess it's the same as dropping out. Well, I guess he'll end it when he unfreezes. Yeah, I'm gonna go too. Because actually, I bought something from Black Friday again this year. I was able to afford. I got me a new webcam. I'm gonna hook it up once I get off here.
Do some more videos for Andre. Looks like Dark Horse is joining Andre's team as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw the post. Yeah.
So that's going to be pretty cool. Y'all are going to have a nice little stable of wrestling shooters pretty soon.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, the webcam I got, it's a 4K Ultra Pro Cam. It's Logitech. It's like the one I'm using now, but this is a 4K Ultra, so I'm curious to see how it's going to look. So,
well, I'm hoping to get internet pretty soon, then I'll start doing shows. Holy hell!
Yeah, he just dropped. Yeah, it's probably okay. He's back
There he
again.
Then back again. Sorry for a while, but then that took just again. I think the Bears are gonna win this division. Please, I'm saying, God, please. Lose for once. The Saints Rams can lose because I want the Bears on home field bench. And my Bears are going to Super Bowl. Do you guys agree?
Well, they said that your Bears were going to be 8-8 this year, so you've already got the 8 part down. All you need to do is lose, the next 5, I guess. But yeah, it looks like you'll have the division wrapped up in the NFC North. It's not nearly. I mean, there's not nearly as competitive right now, currently in the NFC North as it is in our division, where looks like our division leader is what 6-5, right?
Yeah, we beat Washington, even though they were 6-4, so we're tied. Even though we're in first place by a game, we're kind of tied with them because we both now have the same record. But the thing is, we got to keep winning. If we lose to the Saints, I think Washington will take first place again because we'll be down. We'll be down again. I don't know. So we got to keep winning games. I'm guessing we're kind of expected probably to win all the rest of our games, which I believe is probably impossible. But I mean, who knows?
If Bears will win for once, like I predict the Bears, I need to win the damn division. Like I predicted it.
I know people say a win's a win, but the way we're winning isn't very pretty. So see, like I said, Polson, going back to yesterday, the penalty call with the end zone thing, and also the defense. We should have beat them 31-13. We should kept at 13. We let them come back within 8 points. So see, I don't like that, you know. But yeah, win's a win, yeah, but still I like to beat them by a big margin, like kind of like what the Saints are doing, you know. I would like to beat the Redskins 48-7 or, you know, 31-17 or 31-13 like we had them at one point.
I hope the Bears for once in a lifetime, please win Super Bowl for once. I mean, it's Bears Super Bowl time. You Cowboys fans, you have the World Cup Cowboy fans, you have the Doomsday defense, the Cubs and 90s. This Bears fan wasn't alive since 85. Please to win the damn division and Super Bowl, please. And that's my last time I used to see a Bears win Super Bowl my lifetime. Just compete my life, please, for once as Super Bowl title. And that's because you're a big sports fan. So, well, I'm asking you guys a question. If the Bears win Super Bowl, will you be happy for me in my Bears win Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, we're gonna say congratulations. Yeah, just so long as it's not the Patriots.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you didn't. Yeah, the Patriots may be out for revenge against the Bears, but yeah, you know that's my other team is the Patriots. But yeah, I'll probably be happy for you if you win the Super Bowl. Maybe y'all will win it against you know, like a Pittsburgh Steelers team or one of those teams I can't stand. Just whenever y'all win that Super Bowl, make sure that you have like a freaking 9-7 season. You go ahead and limp into the playoffs. Everybody's and then the Jets will be like freaking. Make sure that the Jets are like 14-0 or 16-0 at the time, and then beat the Giants, and then beat the Giants and keep them from getting a perfect season. So I can laugh at the New York Giants fans. I can't stand the Giants.
Wow. Well, that's
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I cannot stand the Packers fans too. And the Eagles fans.
Oh yeah, well the Eagles fans really got their faces kicked in by the Saints. That was Carson. I've never seen Carson Wentz curse because he was cursing up a storm boy on the sideline there. He almost slammed his helmet when the way he lost. I'm like, these are the Super Bowl champs. I'm like, damn, what happened?
All right, guys. Eagles fans are annoying fans. Second annoying fans are the Eagle fans. Sorry, barbecue sauce. Eagle fans are annoying. Like the Packers fans is the worst. Eagle fans are second noise. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles. Shut up, Eagle fans. Annoying. I don't like. I've argued with Eagle fans too in Canton, Ohio. Eagles fans, yeah, the worst fight song ever.
Yeah, fight Eagles, fight. Yeah, I know that though. You know.
Are the cheaters posting?
The worst fans ever are the LeBron fans because you can't tell a LeBron fan anything about Michael Jordan without them sitting there trying to go ahead and do this mental gymnastics of how LeBron is better than Michael Jordan, and that's just not going to happen.
No, you're right. I agree with that. I don't think there's nobody that was as good as Michael Jordan was. Michael Jordan was one of a kind. He was gifted. LeBron's great in his own way. I respect LeBron James for what he's done, but he's no Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was able to create magic on that court. The things he did.
So they have to be the first, in my opinion. Did he freeze again?
Maybe, I don't know, or yeah, he could have. Yeah, it's a lot of freezing tonight. I guess. Yeah. Here's the thing. I've updated my Google Chrome. I now have Chrome beta with Google Chrome updating and stuff, and and formats and everything. I'm guessing there's a lot of glitches in Hangouts.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, I've heard somebody has told me they're supposed to be doing away with the Google Hangouts, and I hope not because it's a fun format. I like it. I don't think there's Hangouts on Vimeo or whatever. Now there is a software format I found. But he dropped out again. But you got to pay to have more than 10 people on there. You can have as many people as you want on there, but it's like a format. The free one is a limited number. But if you pay for it, you can have as many as you want. And also, your camera's on, you can have 20 people on.
You might have to send me the link to that.
Yeah, I found the software. I forget what it was now, but somebody told me about it. I forgot what it was. I don't think people should have to pay to chat live on it and do a broadcast. Because see, it's the paying part that I hate. It's like if you buy a PlayStation 4, you got to pay to play online. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I think you can do something with Skype as well. I think you can record on Skype.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, because I have a software I pay for each year, once a year. It's called Every and you can record calls on Skype. And then because I was actually on recently on a Skype call, but it was like months ago. You know the guy Aaron Rift on ODQ, the wrestling site, Aaron Rift?
Yeah.
He was having guests on his shows, and I was one of his guests. He was talking about the best attitude era. I can send you the link to it because I actually have recorded it myself, and I downloaded the thing, and I can send you the link to it. I was one of the guests on there. So, and what it was on Skype. He recorded it and then uploaded it to YouTube.
I might have to check into that. Certainly that they're not going to get away from doing the live broadcasts altogether, but they might. Who knows?
Yeah, Google is changing because I saw an article on it. It's like I think it has something to do with cost or basically just something else that's happening.
Well, maybe they'll come up with something else, something more cost effective to go ahead and do Hangouts.
Yeah.
But anyways, hey man, I'm gonna go and let you go. I'm gonna go and plug this phone up before it dies.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go and get my new webcam and hook it up.
All right.
All right.
I'll talk to y'all later.
Hey guys, is it up there?
Yeah, I'm fixing to go ahead and drop out, man. I gotta plug my phone up.
Hey, what happened?
Huh?
Is it still live?
Yeah.
Still live?
It's live.
Trying to end the show right now.
Yeah, I'm fixing to go and drop out, man. I gotta plug my phone up. It's almost dead.
Damn.
All right. I'll talk to you later, man.
Sorry about the technologies. Yeah, man. Shut the fuck. So this is what I'm talking about. So I'm going to live stream now. Yeah. Taking issues. Hold on. Technology. Shit, dude. Fucking. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Should fix the stuff here. I think sorry, the technicians really bad. What happened? What's going on? Should fix it? What's going on? Oh, hold on. Damn. What's going on? Okay. Damn, I'm trying to fix the technology shit, but the damn shit. Oh, okay. I'll fix it. This thing. I want to thank you guys for coming for everyone else. So, thank you guys for coming. I pretty much can end it. Oh, hold on. Trying to end the show. Hold on. Hold on. Hi, I said I'm back again. Thank you guys for coming.